Welcome to GSFN Gents Fragrance Network. Today we have a brand new release from the world-renowned house Ralph Lauren. It's Ralph's Club Eau de Toilette. Look at that. Would you just look at it? Look at that. Look at that. Just really look. We're going to talk about this fragrance today, and we're going to look at the box. We're going to do the whole thing. We're going to do that. Let's do it. Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Today we're taking a look at the new Ralph's Club Eau de Toilette from Ralph Lauren. This one you can get for $105 US for a 100 ml size bottle from Nordstrom. That's where I bought mine from, and all things considered, pretty good price. A new fragrance launching from a big brand with a nice presentation and everything for right at about $100 for 100 mils. Yeah, that's pretty good. So another shout out to Ralph Lauren for that, keeping their prices, for the most part, respectable, not just overly trying to price gouge people like some other brands. All I'm saying is, let's not allow these brands to make it regular and accepted to put stuff out for $200 plus or right around, okay? So 105 bucks, good starting point, but we need to take a closer look at the fragrance and talk about how this smells to determine if it's actually worth picking up. So as I said, this one's available at Nordstrom. I'll have it linked in the description along with the other Ralph's Club fragrances. And here are some codes that you guys can use to save money across a bunch of different websites. The newest codes, of course, are the Oud store and also JOMASHOP. The JOMASHOP codes only work in the app, so be aware of that. Let's start things off by taking a closer look at the box and the bottle here, and then we'll start talking about the scent. So here we have the front of the box. Looks nice, I feel like, kind of a carbon fiber look to it. You have the name of the fragrance, name of the house, size and concentration on the front. Like I said, Eau de Toilette 100 ml. Ralph Lauren RL Eau de Toilette up on top. Have a QR code on one side of the bottle. On the other side, they let you know that you can refill this bottle. Isn't that amazing? That is the trend right now, refillable bottles, so this one is refillable in case that's important to you. On the back, you have your ingredient information, your caution, your barcode, and on the bottom, you have your badge code. My badge code is 22Y401X. And here we have the bottle. This one is pretty nice looking, I gotta say. I like the look of it. It's the typical Ralph's Club style, but I think overall it's a nice looking bottle across the entire range. It looks classy, it looks high end. It says Ralph's Club on the front. You have the little Ralph's Club logo, Eau de Toilette at the bottom, and this is a gradient bottle. And instead of your typical gradient, which would go from like top to bottom or bottom to top, this one actually goes from the sides inward. So on the sides, it's darker and then gets clearer toward the mid, and it's a pretty nice look, like I said. On the bottom sticker with your badge code, you have the little Ralph's Club logo on top of the cap, and the cap does open like that. Then you have another RL on top, the atomizer, RL Stein. So you gotta love that, man. It's just got logos on top of logos on top of logos. They are letting you know what's up. Ralph's Club, Ralph Lauren, Ralph's Club, Ralph's Club, Ralph Lauren. It's just everywhere. Let's go ahead and do a couple sprays here. There we go, atomizer works really well. And let's go ahead and do a couple sprays of the original Ralph's Club, which is the Eau de Parfum. All right, let's start talking Ralph's Club and Ralph's Club Eau de Toilette. This one's a little bit funny because it's like they started with the Eau de Parfum, Ralph's Club Eau de Parfum. And they went, okay, cool, where do we go from here? The Parfum, of course. And then they did the Parfum, and then the Elixir. And then after they did the Elixir, it's like they went, I think we forgot something here. Something in the, the Eau de Toilette. It was like when they forgot Kevin in Home Alone. They just sat up and they were like, the Eau de Toilette. And then they came out with this. But as I said, shout out to them because price point wise, they keep this cheap, they keep this affordable. Again, all things considered when you compare it apples to apples. And you would assume that because this is so affordable at full retail, all things considered, that when it hits discounters and it's been there for a little bit, it's gonna be pretty affordable there too. Because of course, with new fragrances, when they first hit discounters, it's gotta be a little bit more expensive than what it's gonna be probably, 3 months, 4 months down the road after it's been there for a little bit at those discounter stores. Because just as a mode of comparison here, the original Ralph's Club Eau de Parfum full retail is 140 bucks. So 35 more than the Eau de Toilette. And you can find this one at discounters for about $50 pretty much all day for a 100 ml. And for the 50 ml size, I've seen it go for low 30s, like $33. Those prices as of this video are pulled from FragranceNet and JOMASHop. So that gives you a kind of a range of comparison there. If you can get a $140 Ralph's Club for 50 bucks, then I would assume that this one, after it's at discounters for a little while, is going to be what? Somewhere around 40 for 100 mil, 40, 45, maybe less. So essentially, you've got a potential cheapy banger down the road at discounters and an already cheap fragrance in comparison at full retail. So that's all good news, all good things, all good things. But now we got to get to the fragrance, how it smells, whether it's worth it. So first time I sprayed on Ralph's Club Eau de Toilette, I was a little bit, I don't know if disappointed is the right word, but I was a little bit just kind of bleh. I was ennui. That's from Inside Out, ENNUI. Basically, it just hit me and I thought, okay, you know, it's pleasant, really pleasant, but reminiscent of a number of other things. But I gave it some more wears, and kind of the same thing that happened with Polo 67 started to happen with this one, which is the more you wear it, the more you come to like it. Now, I'll tell you straight up, it is not anything groundbreaking. It is not anything really new, but to be fair, it does come across like a fresher take on the Eau de Parfum of Ralph's Club. So it is kind of what I should have expected, to be honest. It's not quite as sweet as the Eau de Parfum, so Ralph's Club Eau de Parfum is gonna have more of that sweetness from the opening into the dry down. The Eau de Toilette, a little bit fresher. It does take on a touch of a powdery scent profile to it. Not overwhelming. This is not like a powdery scent at the end of the day, but there's a little bit of that in the Eau de Toilette, more so than the Eau de Parfum. It opens with a fresh, semi-sweet lavender, and that lavender is going to be, or technically I guess it's a lavandin note here, but you know what I'm talking about. Lavender plays a very important part, a very prominent part in Ralph's Club Eau de Toilette. You can pick that up early on, pick it up through the mid. Again, it's going to stay fairly sweet the whole way through, but it's not that same kind of like semi-sugared sweetness that you find here in the Eau de Parfum. You get a little citrus off the top with Ralph's Club EDT, but it's not really a big blast of citrus. I think grapefruit is the official note there. And you get a little bit of that freshness off the top from the grapefruit, but again, it's not like a big citrusy blast. You don't get that tartness, you don't get any rindiness. Fresh, as I've said like 3 times, yes. But this is not focused on the citrus here. It's focused on the lavandin. It's focused on the sage, which is gonna tie it in with the Eau de Parfum. And then also little geranium as well as it starts to dry down, and that's gonna give you that little hint of powder in there in this one, the lavender mixing with the geranium. As it dries down, it gets a little bit of a fresh woodiness mixed with musk. Again, it's not anything that's hyper new. It is something that's been done before, but it smells really pleasant, very easy to wear, and priced as it is, I gotta say, I mean, it's worth the price point, but it is something that I would tell you, you probably should wait to smell it in stores before you pick it up at full retail, or wait a little longer, pick it up for a substantial discount at discounters, because what it's gonna go for at those stores, yeah, that's an easy recommendation. The initial feeling that I had when I wore this one was that it reminded me of, again, the Eau de Parfum a little bit with the sweetness dialed down, a little more powder in the Eau de Toilette and fresher in the Eau de Toilette, but similarities there. But kind of like this turned into what I just said, mixed with a little bit of like myself, that kind of style, you know, that very clean kind of freshness that one has. You know, where the original myself can remind you a little bit of fresh laundry, stuff like that. You get sort of those vibes in this one as well, especially as it starts to dry down in the mid. Now, I've not done like a side-by-side with YSL myself and, you know, mixing it with this one or something. I've not done that. That's just what popped into my mind. And that could be wrong. That's just kind of what it made me think of. You know, another fragrance that's not the same as myself, but kind of playing in that overall style that's become more popular since that fragrance came out. In terms of performance, Ralph's Club Eau de Toilette, pretty much on par with the Eau de Parfum. I've worn them side by side, these two, and one wasn't noticeably stronger than the other. They seem to be pretty similar. And in actuality, I'd say the Eau de Toilette actually pushes out more initially. So like through the opening first part of the mid, Ralph's Club EDT, a little more projection, but overall, I'd say pretty similar. In terms of wearability, versatility, it's the type of scent you could wear about anywhere. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're talking about a fragrance that's really fresh and, you know, lavender forward, kind of a sweet lavender, that's something that's been done a million times because people love it. And so, yeah, you can wear this about anywhere you want. To the office, on a date, casually, whatever, it's gonna work. And in terms of seasons, honestly, about year round. I know that most people are probably gonna say spring, summer, daytime, but I think you could wear it whenever you want. This is one of those scents, like I just said, that type of versatility, it really doesn't matter. Wear it wherever you want, whenever you want. So for this one, initial, yeah, sort of blah, slight disappointment turned into, oh, yeah, I get what they're going for here, and for that price, I can't knock them for it. I do think there's gonna be probably an initial backlash to this one where people say, oh, it's boring, it sucks, whatever. But I think that as you wear it, as you smell it, it's one of those ones, like myself, like Polo 67, that you come around to really enjoy. And for what you can get it for, especially when it hits discounters, I think it's solid. And it does play its part in the Ralph's Club line. So it makes sense. Like, you're gonna come out with an Eau de Toilette, and you keep it in line with the Eau de Parfum with some tweaks, changes to make it its own thing, to make it stand out enough, and then offer it up in a slick looking presentation with good performance to boot. Yeah, I can't knock that at all. Is it gonna be something that sets people's heads on fire this year, just gets them going crazy? Probably not, but I think it's a really nice addition. I like the stuff, I'm gonna wear it. And I think that especially as more people get their noses on it, more people wear it, they see the price proposition, it's gonna be something that a lot of people go for. Question is where they go from now. I guess back to the other end, right? So they came out with Eau de Toilette this year, and now next year they're gonna come out with something stupid expensive, and I'll just have to be like, unless it's really good, and then I'll be like, okay, fine, you got me. There we go, Ralph's Club Eau de Toilette. I like this stuff. Nice price, nice presentation, nice performance, whole thing. And good compliment factor. I've had a couple people smell this, my wife as well, and she really liked it. So yeah, good stuff. At the end of the day, not everything has to be something insane, right? So there we go. Thank you guys so much. Stay safe out there. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.